You're listening to the Blue 82 podcast, hosted by Craig and Nicholas. Please like and subscribe so we know that you like what we're doing. And now, let's talk football. Blue 82!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue 82 podcast. I am your host, Craig, with my co-host, Nicholas. And this is going to be episode 4 of the 2023 NFL season. Probably going to be a somewhat quick episode. We don't have too much to cover today. Kind of in that, what's the word I'm looking for? That in-between period, you know what I mean? Just kind of waiting for the draft, waiting for a couple things to happen. But we are going to do team rankings. And then we're going to just talk about some draft order, things like that a little bit afterwards. There wasn't a whole lot of transactions between the last episode and this one. I think there was a few. There was only a couple notable signings. It was Calais Campbell to the Falcons, right, Nick?
Yep.
And then Irv Smith Jr. to the Bengals, tight end. So I might be the best tight end the Bengals have had since Joe Burrow's been there. So I think that's a pretty good signing for them, to be honest. We all know Irv Smith has been talked about how he's supposed to take this next step, and he was with the Vikings, then he got hurt, and then they traded for Hockenson, so he's going to get a fresh start somewhere else. But that was pretty much all the transactions, right?
Pretty much like the big ones.
The big ones. Let's see. Oh, goodness, that was a good stretch. So we're going to start with team rankings today. You got anything else before we want to jump into this, Nick?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. We're in there like swimwear. All right, so what we're going to do is if y'all watched last year's, we had Super Bowl contenders at the top, playoff teams, and then middle of the pack, best of the rest. We're just going to do the S, A, B, C, D tiers this time. We're going to go through and just... We're literally doing this for the first time as we do this, so we're going to do a lot of switching around, kind of like we did with the quarterback rankings, just so we figure it out. And yeah, this is going to be based off kind of last year and then a little bit going into this year. I know we're still waiting on some teams to make drafts and things like that, but we'll revisit it after the draft again and kind of update it and go from there. But this will just be our initial super early 2023 team rankings. All right, so starting first, we got them set up by division. We are starting with the AFC North Steelers. Where do we think the Steelers lie? They got Kenny Pickett. They need some help. They haven't made a whole lot of splash signings, I don't think.
I think last year alone they were probably a D-tier team.
Okay.
But I think giving the benefit of the doubt, I think they bounce back and maybe are a C-tier type team.
I think C-tier would be a good starting point, considering it's Mike Tomlin, second year for a quarterback. They're going to add some pieces in the draft, so I feel comfortable with C-tier as well.
Yeah, I'm willing to go C-tier. I think it's a little hard to argue with D-tier for this team.
No, as of right now, for sure, yeah.
But again, we always talk about, it's Mike Tomlin. He somehow finds ways to
every time, dude.
To do it. So
every time.
We'll see.
Next, moving forward, we got the Baltimore Ravens. This one's tough for me. There's just so much going on with this organization right now, and Lamar Jackson. I almost want to put him in the C tier with the Steelers. You know what I mean?
Honestly, not opposed to it.
I think there's I would probably put him in the B, or maybe make the argument for the A.
I think honestly they're a B team, but it depends. If Lamar plays and he plays his MVP level, yeah, they're an A tier team.
Yeah, exactly.
But as of right now on paper, it's probably a B tier team because if he gets hurt, they instantly drop to a C tier, D tier type team. That's just
and that's why
how it is when you have any quarterback go out with injuries.
And that's kind of where I'm at, where it's I kind of want to put them in C tier just because of the question marks with the whole Lamar Jackson thing right now. We don't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
I think you can put them in B tier, but they're at the end of B tier for sure.
Okay, I like that. I'm cool with that.
And I think that's fair.
Next, we got the Browns. I'm going to throw them in D tier just because we don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't know what Watson we're getting. The cap issue is all fucked up. Like, they have some star-studded players, but it just depends on what Watson we get. We don't know. It's just a question mark to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they got a lot of superstar type power, like with Myles Garrett. You got Deshaun Watson, you got Amari Cooper, Nick Chubb. But at the end of the day, Deshaun Watson looked like trash. He did not look like the Texans' Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And he's not being paid, or he's being paid like an incredible amount of money, obscene amount of money, and I don't know, like we said, like we just haven't seen that production of him yet. Obviously, it was year one, we gave him the benefit of the doubt, but going to year two, I agree with D tier.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to see it first.
And
we can start going B or anything about
and
that.
last year we knew what we were gonna get. Like his last few games, we knew he was gonna be bad. We figured he'd take the rust off. I didn't think he was gonna be that bad. Like he did not look good at all. So for me, it's one of those I gotta see it to believe it thing. You know what I mean? Like show me that you're back for me to say that. All right, Watson's back. You know what I mean?
And hopefully they figure it out.
They need to because they have a lot riding on that man.
It's just crazy because like people are saying like they went from one of the like laughable fun losing franchises to now like one of the most hated teams, and they still suck.
I don't know if I'd say hated teams. I mean, I guess you could make the argument for hated because of the whole situation. Yeah, like I get that aspect of it. I still feel like they're more laughable because why would you trade 3 first-round picks and this massive ass contract?
You can definitely see like the love for like the Browns was like disappeared.
Yeah,
because it used to be like one of those lovable like you used to laugh at them and I was like, you're just disgusting type of thing. Like there's a stain on it.
No, 100%.
A little brown stain.
Next we got the Bengals. I feel like they belong in S tier just because the team's pretty much the same. They lost their safeties. Yes, I know. They replaced one of them. I want to say they replaced maybe 2 of them.
They definitely belong in S tier until proven otherwise.
I think so. And then they signed Orlando Brown Jr. too, so it's like they're making moves.
What was it, like 2 years ago now they were in the Super Bowl?
2 years ago. And then they were 1 game away from it last year, so it's like...
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're S tier until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I think so.
Moving on to the AFC East.
AFC East. Next we got the Jets. The Jets have a young up-and-coming defense that played very well. For me, the Jets is just the quarterback question mark. Is it going to be Rodgers? Is it going to be who? Like, I don't know that whole situation. If it's not Rodgers, it's Zach
Wilson, and that team's a D tier. If it's Aaron Rodgers, I'm willing to put them in C tier until we see Aaron step it up. Because we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to get.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't terrible last year, I guess you could say, but at the same time, it wasn't the MVP Aaron Rodgers saw.
He was dealing with the injuries.
Does he go up from there, or does he go down? Like, he is, what, like 40-something? 38, 39? Like...
And we saw kind of the drop-off from Brady, like, this past year. He didn't look like himself, so are we going to get that? I know there's a 4 or 5 year difference between the two, but...
Father time never fails.
I think they belong high C tier. Like, I would take the Jets over the Steelers. Just based off like roster talent
until they get Rodgers.
No, that's what I'm saying.
B tier and then
just because I don't know if they're getting Rodgers or not. Next we got the Dolphins, who have made moves again, haven't lost a whole lot of pieces. I think we put them as a playoff team last year, right?
Nope.
I don't know what caliber. I guess we haven't got there yet. We can move them up. I feel like A tier, maybe high, like top B tier. I don't know what teams we're putting in A tier yet. That's why I'm like kind of on the back.
I'm gonna put them in A tier for now.
Okay.
But if there's better teams in A tier, then I'm down. I'm okay with moving to the B tier.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're definitely top of A, top of B, low A.
Yeah.
That
I
type
think
of
so
team,
too.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they have a chance to win a division. I think they definitely have a chance to, for sure, winning a playoff game this year. So.
I will say this. That division's going to be interesting because let's say the Jets do get Rodgers. You're going to have the Jets who, again, have a really talented defense. They have some players. And
Josh Allen
we've
and the
always
Bills.
Josh Allen and the Bills, and we've always said the Jets were literally a quarterback away from being a contender, right?
Yep.
So this division is gonna be interesting. You got the Dolphins, the Jets, the Bills, and you can never count out Belichick. Like, you know what I mean? So that division is gonna be fun to watch this year. I feel like if the Jets get Rodgers.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard division, but like I said, I'm confident in the team. I'm confident in McDaniel. I think they can get it done.
I hear you. Next we got the Bills, who, for me, we put Nest here last year. Everybody had them as the Super Bowl favorites.
I think they're still an A tier.
I think they're an A tier team as well. I think it's one of those things where Josh Allen needs to not make as many mistakes, and he needs to.
It's literally that saying: "You live and die by Josh Allen."
Yeah, no, 100%. That's literally
Like
what it is.
if he comes back and plays like how you've seen him play before, then they can go all the way to the Super Bowl. If he plays like he did last year, they're probably going to be one and done.
Yep.
Like he's just that type of quarterback. If he can play like he has, that team's like arguably one of the best in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree. Next we got the Patriots. I think it's a C tier team. I don't trust Mac Jones. I know I just hyped
Mac
up
Jones.
Belichick, but I think Mac Jones is
Mac Jones
not there.
Neglects everything that Bill can do.
Uh,
Everything you say positive about Bill, he just shits on it.
Yeah, no, I think so. Let's see.
D tier.
I was
AFC
getting
South.
there, but AFC South, we got my Texans.
The
Definitely
team that
a D
couldn't
tier.
even get the first overall pick.
How do you fuck
the
that
draft.
up, man? Like,
They
that's
fucked
crazy.
it up.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
think-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, their starting quarterback right now is currently what's his name?
Case Keenum, Davis Mills.
No. Yeah, is it Davis Mills, Case Keenum, one of the
Yeah.
two? For right now, obviously they're gonna get a quarterback. I feel like either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, whatever one falls. Maybe
Yeah.
Will Levis. I don't know.
Don't
Craig
fucking
lose
say
his
Will
shit.
Levis. Do not fucking say Will Levis, dude. Don't even
Maybe they
mention
get
Will
Anthony
Levis and the
Richardson.
Texans in the same fucking sentence. I'll take Anthony over Will. I really will, but don't give me
I'm just
fucking
saying,
either
I don't know
one.
who's going to be the quarterback, so they're definitely D tier for now. Even
Yeah.
then, I would still have them D tier probably
Because
after,
you wouldn't know,
after
yeah.
the draft.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know. It's a rookie quarterback with... I don't know. Who's your head coach? He's a rookie too, right?
D'Amico Ryans, yeah.
But yeah, so again, we talked about before, defensive coaches kind of are like a dying breed almost, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like
It feels that
it
way,
almost
to
seems
be
like
honest.
everybody wants that young quarterback with the young offensive genius kind of a type of coach.
Yep.
So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, but I think it's a D tier team, but it has a future. It has promise. You know what I mean?
100%. And that's what I was going to
Whereas
touch
like
on.
the Browns feel like they're just like a doom and gloom, like they're
Yeah.
stuck in cap hell now. If Watson
Yeah.
sucks, like what are you gonna do? You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, it seems like
Pretty
if it like I know this is a weird analogy and it just popped up on my head, so I'm gonna use it. But like if you're on like a staircase climb, right, with like 10 floors, I feel like the Texans are on like floor like 5, right? Like they're getting there. They're getting to and the top isn't like the Super Bowl. Like the top is like
Yeah.
reaching like a actual average team in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like they're getting to that point. They need the quarterback. They got the draft picks. They got a coach that I think is actually going to stick around and we're not going to fucking fire. Like I think they're getting to that point to where we can say, okay, this is an NFL franchise. So I'm excited for it. Again, I got to see the quarterback if they work out, who it is, whatever. You know what I mean? Right now, I think it's looking like Bryce Young. It sounds like the Panthers are maybe going to go C.J. Stroud again. You know how these reports are. You hear it, and then they could go somebody else the next week or whatever. So, but I'm cool with D tier now. Hold on. Somebody in chat said the Texans need Ryan Mallett again. Oh hell no, dude. That is crazy. That dude was so bad.
I'll just like the last thing I'll touch on with the Texans. I just feel like this April you're gonna see what their plan is for their future,
100%.
and that's gonna be the big story because
Yeah.
if they get Bryce Young, if they get C.J. Stroud, that's their future, and we'll see how it works out for them.
Yep. Let me ask you this, Nick.
What?
And this is just as somebody as like a football fan, right? Like somebody that talks about football.
Yeah.
But if the Texans don't draft a quarterback and they go like Will Anderson or something at 2, what are your thoughts on that as like a non-Texans fan?
Sorry,
just a
I'm
football
just
guy?
so lost on. Is this someone you actually know in chat that just
No,
said that?
let me see. Hold
Is
on.
that a bot? Because
No, they've typed in my chat before.
I'm so confused.
But the shit they've typed in my chat has been something else. So we're gonna completely disregard this. Yeah. We're not gonna say
what
that.
was the question? Somebody.
Oh goodness.
Sorry, that just caught me so off guard. Oh
that
my
is something
God.
else. Anyways.
Okay.
So I was saying, as just like a football fan, right? Like if you're watching football or you're watching the draft, and knowing what you know about football, if the Texans in this upcoming draft like Will Anderson at 2 instead of going a quarterback,
like the Texans draft Will Anderson?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh,
move?
I'd lose my mind. Like, why?
Would you? Okay, yeah.
I just think like if you have the chance to draft a quarterback, I guess if you don't believe in any of the quarterbacks, then I guess fine with me. But I still would be like, what the fuck? Because like you don't know what they feel, right, or what they're thinking. But then you'd basically be chalking your next season as well to go and get
Caleb Williams or
whoever's in that draft, right? So I don't know, but I definitely think they got to go quarterback for sure.
Do you trust either one of these quarterbacks to draft them at 2 and put your franchise on the line?
I think so.
Okay.
I think I trust CJ Stroud a bit more than I do Bryce Young, just because of the size and the injury concerns.
Okay. Just a random thought, random question.
You're a Texans fan. Would you be up in arms if they didn't draft? If Bryce Young's on the board and they don't draft him?
I don't know, man. Like, it just boils down to I don't know which quarterback I want, first off. Second off, I don't know if I believe in Caleb Williams either to make that you know what I mean? Like, I know everybody hypes up Caleb Williams, but he's kind of pissed me off with the whole Oklahoma thing. So it's like, how you gonna? I don't know. It just. I don't think I would be too upset because I would almost understand it. And I wouldn't be too upset because the Texans have made moves like this plenty of times that are kind of questionable. I think you just got to get a quarterback, though. I think it just boils down to getting a quarterback. That's what you need at this point. Like, you need a quarterback to take the next step with this franchise. So, I think I want them to drive a quarterback.
Right.
Next, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who made the playoffs this past year, surprisingly. Got kind of hot towards the end. Trevor Lawrence took a big step up this year.
They did win a playoff game, right?
They won a playoff game.
Yeah, they beat the Chargers.
They beat the Chargers.
They came back.
I'm feeling an A for this. Like, they're getting Calvin Ridley. They got a lot of the team back. You know what I mean? Like, year, 3 for Lawrence? I think they can make a bigger step than they already did.
I think they're probably near where the Dolphins are, like probably at the end. I think they're above the Dolphins though for sure because they did win the playoff game.
Right.
But we'll figure that out after it's all said and done.
Yeah, no, I like. Plus, they're in a weak division, so they're probably going to be a division winner. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see the Titans going after it. Texans probably not unless Bryce Young or CJ end up being the next fucking
just
Brady
like God tier Hall of Fame quarterback carrying the team. Yeah.
And then I just don't see the Colts.
The Colts are the only team that I think could match it, but
if they get a quarterback.
Yeah, but again, they're going to be relying on a rookie.
Yeah. Maybe
a low key type of veteran signing or something like that, but yeah, I'm not feeling it.
No, I think so.
I think that division's going to be hot ass again.
Yeah. Let's see. So next we got the Colts. We just talked about the Colts. I feel like this is a C tier team, right? Like.
Oh, it's almost like a D tier team.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think so too. Yeah.
Again, you have no quarterback. Like.
Plus, we saw how they performed last year.
Depending on where they are, it's either bottom of C or top of D. Like, it depends on how you see it. If you think they go and get in this draft and get a good quarterback, then yeah, you could put them maybe C. But if they end up with no quarterback, they're a fucking D tier.
They're gonna get a quarterback, but it's like your pick 4. The top 2 that are like in my eyes, you got the 2 quarterbacks, and then you got the other 2, Levis and Richardson. And to me, there's a big drop off for Levis and Richardson than there is Stroud and Young. So it's like, I think even if they get a quarterback at 4, it's not going to be one of the better ones. And it's like, I still feel like you're
I
in
think so.
the same boat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So D tier, top of D right now for that. Next we got Titans, kind of the same situation. Like,
I think it's a rebuilding team. Man.
yeah,
I don't see this team doing anything. I think Mike Vrabel could possibly be on the chopping block after this season. I don't know. I just haven't seen it.
yeah.
They had a little bit of playoff success, and then that's it.
I do think like we've talked about this Mike Vrabel thing before. I think he's a hell of a coach. I think if this team does play bad, I feel bad because I don't think it's his fault. Like the team just doesn't have players.
I think they just kind of peaked. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
No, 100%.
they had that core together. They peaked with Henry and Tannehill. It just hasn't worked out. It is what it is. Like, you tried.
Yep.
But I think they definitely got to hit that
Yeah.
rebuild button.
I would not be surprised if the Titans come in last this year in the division. Honestly,
Oh,
like
man.
I could see the
I can see it,
Texans maybe doing better than them, but we'll see what the Texans do. Next we got the Chiefs, of course, Super Bowl champs. We're gonna put them
They're
in
S
S
tier.
tier.
They're top
yeah.
of S tier for sure.
Yeah.
The defending champs. You gotta kick them off the throne if you like. There's nothing else to say.
Next we got the Raiders, and for me on the Raiders, dude, I'm not buying into this fucking shit again. We did it last year. We were on the hype train.
D tier.
I'm so cool with that. Like, I don't believe in Josh McDaniels at all. Like, I think you made a quarterback change and you literally got the same quarterback. Yeah, he knows Josh McDaniels. You probably have a better relationship with him than you did Derek Carr, but I still think they're the same freaking quarterback. So it's like, you got to show me something.
Listen. Let's break down the Raiders in detail a little bit here. Defense. I don't remember them signing anyone on defense, so it's pretty much still hot ass, right?
They got a couple dudes. They got Max Crosby.
Yeah, but outside of Crosby, it's like they don't really have an. And even with Crosby, the
Their
defense.
secondary's hot ass. I know that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they didn't get anyone, right? So, there's that. Offense, you got rid of Derek Carr for Jimmy G, who I would say is probably a little bit of a downgrade.
Yeah,
Right?
I could see that.
Tight end, you got rid of Dylan Waller, so now you don't even have another weapon. You only have Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow, basically.
Jacoby Myers as well.
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
fucking good. He's good.
That's
And then
funny.
you literally had an MVP type candidate with Josh Jacobs last year. Do you really think he's going to repeat
I don't think so.
as that big type like running back? Like, you've seen it how many times? Like, a running back pops off and then he's does mediocre the next season. Like,
Yeah.
Even with him being as good as he was, they didn't do shit.
Yep.
Like, that's I don't believe it. I don't see any hope for this team. I think they're gonna suck. I think they're also in a very hard division too. So, good fucking luck.
I think they could end up being middle of the pack if they tighten up some things that they didn't tighten up last year. Like, there was a few games that they could have won that they shouldn't have. But I still feel like I just don't like the talent on this team.
I think
don't
they
like
regress,
the moves
honestly.
they've made. Yeah, I think so too.
Like I said, I can definitely see them being middle of the pack, but I think they regress from where they were a year
No,
ago.
I think so. Moving on to the last, or not the last, but the next AFC West team, we have the Denver Broncos. This is a tough one to rank, I feel like, because you're dealing with last year's Russell Wilson. Looked a little bit better towards the end of the year. Who are we going to get this year? You got a new coach in Sean Payton. Is he going to be the person that puts you over to that top? Because you got the talent on the defense. You got some players on the offense. Like, this is a talented team. Just question marks for me. Like, question
You gotta
marks
see if
all the
they can
way
put it
around.
together.
Yeah, like, and for that, like, I feel like it's either D or C. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're thinking D? I'm thinking top C for sure.
Top
I think
C?
they're
Okay.
on par with the Jets. I think they have the quarterback. It's just a matter of if he shows up.
Okay.
If it's
you're
Russell
right, yeah.
MVP Russ, like, for sure this team is probably making
Only
the
reason,
playoffs.
only reason I'm saying D is because they burned us just like the Raiders did. Like, we were on the hype train with the Raiders and the Broncos and thought he was going to change. And
Yeah, I get it, but I think the Broncos have a much better defense, much better team
100%.
overall than the Raiders
100%.
do.
Yeah,
And I think even if Russ wasn't playing good, I think that they could still probably win a couple games here and there based off that defense
Yeah.
alone.
No, you're right.
So I think they could definitely be at middle of the pack. potential playoff type push team. I think B is probably like where the playoffs
Yeah.
probably start, I would say. But I think they can definitely make that run as a wild card team. I don't think they're going to beat up the Chiefs for the division.
Yeah. I think so. I like it. Next we got the Chargers. Are we saying
I think this is a B team.
Yeah,
but for sure, there's also, again, question marks with this team because...
Are you going to have Eckler?
Yeah, like, is Eckler staying? Is Eckler going? Is Justin Herbert going to be the MVP Justin Herbert we've seen before? Is he going to be a little bit mediocre? Are they going to fucking blow playoff leads again? Like, absurd playoff leads? Like,
are they going to blow games, period? They blow games all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, too. They didn't fire their... We literally sat here saying
dude.
Sean Payton was going to go to the Chargers. We thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen, for sure. They should have
fired Staley, dude.
They didn't even fire him.
Not good.
He is still fucking here to choke games, to blow games, and it's fucking absurd.
Yep.
I think this one could easily bite the Chargers in the ass by holding on to Brandon Staley.
I think so. Because you're wasting years.
We'll have to see what happens, but this is basically the last year of Herbert's like rookie deal. We'll get the 5th-year extension for 1 more year, but after he's gonna get his big contract, so we'll have to see what the fuck happens.
I'll say this.
He already just restructured too both their wide receivers, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So this team is. Sorry, I was gonna say real quick. The team's window is closing because these players are getting fucking old, Craig.
Yeah, no,
they're getting
100%.
brutally fucking injured every week. Like, what's that guy's name? The defensive end.
Oh, Bosa. Bosa is just
Joey Bosa's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Mac.
You lost both corners last year. Like, yeah.
I don't know how old Keenan Allen is now, but he's got to be up there.
He's up there. He's like Hopkins' age, somewhere around there.
That's all I'm saying. Like, his team's window's getting close.
I will say, if they have another year where they choke games and don't get to their full potential, Brandon Staley's done. Like, this has got to be his last year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't. I couldn't believe he didn't get fired after the fucking playoff collapse.
Yeah, he should have been done.
If I'm the GM, the owner, I'm saying he didn't even make it on this plane. Sorry, he just blew this
What's
shit
crazy
so bad.
is after all that, the GM doubled down by saying Brandon Staley was our guy and he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to me. I'd hate to be a Chargers fan.
Some insane third or something. There's just no fucking way.
No way.
This is now the NFC conference. Let's go.
This is our team last year, Nick, right? The Vikings. We know they're in cap hell. They've lost some fucking players. This is a B-tier team to me.
Pull it up right now. Pull up the draft rankings. Where's their pick? Pull it up.
23.
Pull it up. The pick 23?
Yeah.
I would absolutely love if this team right now got a chance to get Hendon Hooker, maybe in the 2nd round, if he falls out of the 1st. Right?
23 for Hendon Hooker ain't bad.
I'm thinking too, but I'm just thinking too though. If he falls out, like if he's already at 23, there's no way he doesn't get he's gonna get picked.
Let's peep this mock draft real quick. Do they have Hendon Hooker going in the 1st round? They do not.
That's what I think. If he makes it already to 23, there's no way someone picks him at that point. I think you can easily trade to the top of the 2nd and pick him, and I think that's a solid spot for him. And I would love for them to be able to get that potential quarterback of the future.
You can make the case the Saints at 29 could pick him, but yes, I do get what you're saying.
Because I would love for that to happen because I think this Vikings team is super talented.
Yeah.
They got a good tight end. They got a great wide receiver. I don't know if Cook's gonna be there. There were talks of him maybe going to Miami, maybe not. We'll have to see. I think draft day, if he makes it up to draft day, then for sure he'll probably be a Viking.
They have Hendon Hooker going 41, so 2nd round pick, 10, 11 to the Titans.
Yeah, like top of the 2nd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair value. Like I said, I would love to see him go to the Vikings. Like I said, they're a talented team.
I do like that though because Kirk has 1 year left. You let him sit under Kirk for a year.
That's what I'm saying. You give him a
Becomes
chance
the
to
starter.
fully heal too,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
fully
he
heal.
was. I don't know what he tore. His ACL or something.
ACL, yeah. He's apparently
That's
going
what
to be
I'm
ready for the first week or whatever, opening day or whatever you want to call it. But like,
I think you just give
you
him
still
that,
give him the
that
time.
full year.
Yeah.
Let him heal. Give Kirk his last chance to do it.
Learn.
But anyway, going back to the actual Vikings rankings, I think they're top of B.
Top of B. Yeah, I was going to say B as
I
well.
think their defense still sucks,
Yeah.
but their offense is, explosive as hell.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's hard not to be with Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, and like as much as people might argue with this, Kirk Cousins. Like he's good enough to get the job done. He may not be good enough to win you a Super Bowl or win you a bunch of playoff games, but he's good enough to get you a good regular
He's that
season
type
record.
of quarterback where he could be a Nick Foles. If he got hot at the right
Yeah.
time, he probably could win you that.
100%. Yep.
Also, too, they did lose Adam Thielen, so
Yeah.
that does suck, but it is what it is.
I do like that fit though. Hendon Hooker to the Vikings. We need to remember that
think
and see what happens.
I think it's a great fit, man. I think any quarterback that they're able to get their hands on would be good. Like that's a great
100%,
team to
yeah.
go to.
100%. Moving on, we got the Bears, who have Justin Fields. He made some miraculous plays last year, right? Maybe not so much in the passing game, but he made some miraculous plays as a quarterback. They have added a lot of pieces. Still
He's my
have
new
draft
Trevor
capital.
Lawrence.
He's your new Trevor Lawrence. You think he takes the next step this year?
No, I mean like I need to see him take the
Oh,
next step. I don't know if he
okay,
does,
like
but-
you were last year with Trevor. You
Yeah,
were
with
like,
Trevor Lawrence.
I don't believe it till I see it. Okay. I was gonna say
I
C
think the
tier
dude-
just because the pieces they've added.
Yeah, I think they're bottom of C.
Yeah,
Top of D tier, stuff around there. Not fully rebuilding, but still putting pieces together.
and players
I would
just need
love
to
for
play.
this team. Yeah, I'd love for this team to probably get another wide receiver. I think.
Let's peep. What do they have for draft? I know they got a lot, but let's see. Draft. So they have 953, 61, 64. So they got, what is that? 3 second-round picks or 2 seconds and a high third. So they have them in this mock draft taking a tackle at pick 9, Peter Skoronski. And then they have them in the second round taking Keon White, edge rusher, and then Siaka Ika, D lineman, and then at 64 a cornerback. So they don't even have them taking a wide receiver, which, like you said, I'd like to see them get another wide receiver because who they got? DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and Darnell Mooney. Like I think they need a true number one. I'm sorry, I don't trust DJ Moore. Like I know you traded for him and all that, but I think you need a solidified number one.
Yeah, I think Justin Fields is a hell of an athlete. I think their run game is not too bad with him running the ball.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just want to see them. If they could get that Ohio State wide receiver, I would love to see that connection maybe get going again.
They could go with him at 9. It's
That's what I'm
not out of the
saying.
question.
You've seen it. We've seen it plenty of times now where they get their college players together and it's like
And he
I don't know.
he has
Like,
said he wanted to go there. JSN has. So
you have the Texans take him. That's crazy.
yeah.
Like we've seen it before. Like Tua's got Waddle. We've seen Joe Burrow's got Jamar Chase. Like we've seen this happen, and it works out. Like why would you not want that? You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I agree completely.
It's actually crazy after taking O-line because they did sign a couple O-linemen in the offseason.
Quite a few O linemen, yeah. I think they could use one more. That's probably why they have them taking him there. But yeah, I don't know. They might go the Bengals situation and say, "Fuck O-line, we're just gonna get weapons." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But we'll see what happens. I like them at the bottom of the C tier. Again, they've added a lot of pieces. I think they, just like we said, we've got to see it. You need to show up. You need to take that next step. So we'll see what happens. Next we got the Packers, who
This is a D tier team.
I was gonna say that because Jordan Love I don't believe in. They've got a couple players, but like overall their roster doesn't excite me. You know what I mean?
That window's shut. Rodgers wants out. The team's old. I think they got to do the full strip down rebuild.
I'll tell you
Jordan
what.
Love has huge question marks around him. We've never seen him really even play. I'm not sure what to expect out of him.
This is the Lions and the Vikings division. Like, until the Packers get a quarterback, or maybe Jordan Love's the guy and we see that, but I think this is the Lions and the Vikings division for this year, maybe next year. Don't know what's happening with the Bears, like we said. Kind of got to see it first, but...
I also just want to say, too,
Packers
the Packers are absolutely fucked. Because if Jordan Love somehow is the next Hall of Fame
they got to pay him already.
Packers produce. Exactly. They're going to have to pay him already and get back into paying our quarterback obscene amounts of money. Like,
yep.
I think this roster literally sucks.
Yeah.
I don't even know who their wide receivers are anymore.
Christian Watson.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's it.
That guy had like one...
Who do they have them drafting? Where are they at? Packers. They have them going Nolan Smith, edge rusher at 15.
Yeah.
And then Darnell Washington, a tight end at 45. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're completely fucked. I think that team is chalked as hell.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
I think it's an aging roster.
All right. So moving on, we got the Detroit Lions. Made a lot of moves. 9-7 last year. I feel like they're a B team tier, right? Like, I think they've made that next step. Jared Goff has continued to play well. Are we ready to put the Lions in a B tier, Nick?
I'm not.
You're not? What more do you need to see? They essentially
actually make the playoffs.
Actually make the play. I could give you that. I mean,
I think they're top of C for sure. Like, I think they're way better than all these teams, but they gotta make the playoffs for me to put them in a B tier.
Okay, I hear you.
I think B tier is for playoff type teams. A tier is for sure playoff teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the only reason they didn't make the playoffs last year was because their defense was horrendous.
That too.
Yeah, their defense is, they've added a lot this year to it, and they're probably going to add more in the draft. So I feel like they take that next step, but I'm cool with this C tier. I do get what you're saying, because these are essentially bona fide playoff teams, right? Like, we've seen them make it time and time.
Whereas, like,
so
the
it's
C tier is more of your middle of the pack potential playoff type teams. I think they fit in that one. S tier. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl. There's nothing else to really say.
Yeah.
They still probably have one of the best rosters in the league.
All right. So we got 3 teams in the S tier right now, 3 in the A. We have the Cowboys, who I believe is probably a B tier team. I don't trust Dak Prescott. I
think this is a team that probably could get bumped into the playoffs by the Lions, or potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe even the Giants could knock them out. Like, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
I think they're borderline playoffs. I don't think they're for sure in there.
Yeah, I don't like their. I mean,
they have a decent roster. Like, I don't like the Cowboys. I know you're a Cowboy hater, but like their roster on paper is not bad.
No, I'm a Cowboy hater, but I'm fair.
But it comes down to their offense. Like, they don't have Zeke anymore. I do like Tony Pollard a lot more, though. And then they have Dak Prescott. Again, I'm not a big fan of him, and he didn't play very good. I don't know if he's the guy.
He's not the guy, Nick. I can tell you that right now.
And I think that this is one of the seasons that... I mean, this could probably be his last season. If he doesn't show up, they don't win anything. Like, I can see that.
They have them taking a tight end at 20. Technical difficulties. We'll just, for the YouTube, we'll just stitch together the 2 parts. But I think we left off on the Dallas Cowboys. We were just talking about how we think that they could end up as like getting knocked out by the Lions. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next team. We got the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, for me, they have a talented roster, just question marks at like the quarterback position. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, they got Sam Howell. I think they signed a veteran. I don't know who. Maybe Andy Dalton, I think. But I just don't know what they're going to do with the quarterback position, so I feel like they've got to be a C-tier team, right? Maybe D?
I think they're probably a D-tier team.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like a bad D-tier team.
Well, we
Like,
think
I
they're
their
better than
team
the
has
Packers?
talent. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think they
Yeah.
have one of the better teams overall. It's just we never see it put together.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
Like, we always see, what do we call it? Like how Nathan, we joked about how he took the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
Just to upgrade you, they did sign Jacoby Brissett as a backup.
Okay. That's who it was.
But
yeah.
we always made fun of Nathan for drafting for fantasy the Washington Commanders defense, but on paper it's not a bad pick. It's just we've never seen them actually put it together.
Right.
And then I think also too on their offense, like Scary Terry, is it Samuel?
Sam Howell?
No, not Sam, not the quarterback. What's
Curtis
other wide
Samuel.
receiver? Yeah, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
Like they got pieces, but what's the other guy? The running back, Brian Robinson Jr.
And Antonio Gibson as well.
Yeah, like I think they got pieces to be a decent team. It's just a matter of again quarterback. Lots of questionable quarterback plays.
Yep.
And like we said last year on the last video on our quarterback rankings, lots of bad quarterback play last year. So
That's for sure.
Tough position to get right, and it's a lot of teams are banking on their quarterbacks being good.
No, for sure. All right, so moving on to the last NFC East team, we got the New York Giants, who miraculously made the playoffs last year when nobody expected them to. Re-signed Daniel Jones, added a couple wide receivers. I don't think they're gonna be the guy, but they did add some players there. They got Saquon Barkley. They franchise tagged him. Where are we putting the Giants, Nick?
The wide receivers the Giants have signed are Jamison Crowder, Darius Slayton, Paris Campbell, Jeff Smith, Marquise Kemp.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Basically, Jeff Smith, Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton, and Jamison Crowder. Lots of just backup, mid-tier type players that could just fill the depth chart out.
Yeah, I agree.
I think personally,
Go ahead.
I think they're below the Broncos in my opinion. Like
Okay.
I know they made the playoffs last year, but it took like a miraculous season for them to make it. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
I think Daniel Jones has to improve. I'm not a big fan of him. I still don't think he did a whole lot.
Janine's gonna roast you for this. Carry on though.
I know, but I'm being honest.
No,
like,
I agree.
I think they just have a lot of question marks. Like their offense still doesn't seem like it's gonna be a top 10 offense to carry them. Like I feel like if you're gonna make the playoffs, you need to either have a top 10 defense, top 10 offense or something. You know what I mean? Like one of them has to carry your other units. And to me, do you think the Giants are gonna have that top 10 offense or top 10 defense?
I don't think so. Yeah.
I think if they're gonna make it again, they're just make it by being just like one of those like mid-tier type teams that just somehow made the playoffs.
Yeah. They have them drafting a wide receiver, Zay Flowers, at 25. And this guy's 5'9.5", 182 pounds, so essentially a slot receiver, right? And then they have them drafting that Steve Avila guy. I think he's a center, right? And he'd be like the best center in the class or something like that. Yeah. At 57. So I feel like those are two good draft pieces right there in the mock.
Yeah, I feel like they need O-line help, wide receiver help, and then probably a little bit on their defense.
Defense for sure. Yeah, I think so. I think based off the way they played last year, like there's high hopes because you would like to think that can repeat. But I think like at a talent stand level, like I think the Lions and the Broncos do have a better talent level. I would even say the Jets have better talent level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would put them somewhere around that ballpark.
Again, they could easily make the playoffs.
No, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
They were just one of those teams that were just hot. Like,
yeah,
it is what it is. Like, To me, I feel like they overperformed. I thought that's a fair statement.
100%. I agree.
Agree to disagree. It is what it is.
Next we got the NFC South. We got the Atlanta Falcons, who don't have a quarterback. They got Desmond Ridder. I don't think he's the guy. I think this is a D tier team.
They're probably gonna be one of the worst teams in the league.
I think so too.
I think they're right behind, right in front of the Texans, right there.
Yeah.
They're just not gonna do anything good, and I think they're gonna be really bad.
All right, so next we got an interesting one here, Nick. The Carolina Panthers, who have traded to the #1 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
They've added a lot in free agency. Do we think that this team succeeds? Or I guess my question is based off last year, right? You would think it's a D tier team, right? They were in shambles. Are we able to put them in the C tier team with like the Bears in that area because of the moves they've made?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. The moves they made are they signed center Bradley Bozeman, Shai Tuttle, Von Bell, Andy Dalton, Miles Sanders, Hayden Hurst, Deshaun Williams, Justin McCray, Adam Thielen, Henry Anderson, Eddie Pinheiro, and DJ Clark. Or DJ Shark, sorry. I just don't think they're going to be a good team again.
I think they win the division, Nick.
Think so?
I just think it's a shitty division. Like, their roster was already somewhat talented last year. Like, I think that defense can perform. You got guys like Brian Burns, who's the other guy, J.C. Horn at cornerback. Like, I think if you get a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over, and
the issue with me is all these NFC South teams are just bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I could see them winning the division. And it's not so much that I think they're that good that they're going to win the division. I think it's just I don't trust any of these.
Comparing to the Washington, are they better than them? Probably not. The Packers, maybe.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, man. I think they got to be a D tier team.
All right.
I think all these NFC South teams are D tier until somebody does anything.
I hear you. Alrighty. Let's see. My only argument for that was like I think they're somewhere in this range, right? Like, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. My thing was like I feel like to me the Bears and the Panthers are somewhat comparable in the sense of like they've got some players, we just don't know how it's going to turn out. I do like this roster, though, and again, it's a weak as hell division, so I do think that they're somehow going to squeak it out.
At the end of the day, someone's got to win a division.
No,
it's just
for
a matter
sure.
of who, but I think all these teams are fucking dog shit.
No, they are.
I think it's one of the worst divisions in the NFL right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. Saints, so we said the Saints were putting a D tier as well?
I think all four of them probably going D tier. We can fix it afterwards, but for sure all of them belong in there. There's no question about that.
I think Saints added Derek Carr, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Bucks added Baker Mayfield, but we saw that team last year with a 75% Tom Brady and couldn't get it done. So it's like, is Baker going to be that much better to where they can do that? No. Like, yeah, they made the playoffs, but they won the division at, 7-9 or 8-9 or some shit, whatever it was.
While you're at it, you can throw Kyle Murray and the Cardinals in there too.
Yeah, I think they are going to be very bad.
Sounds like they want to get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I think that team is fucking awful.
Yeah.
They lost JJ Watt. AJ Green retired.
I think I feel like they're hitting a full-blown rebuild, Nick. Like, it seems that way.
Oh, it seems like it.
And that leaves me with the question of, what do you do with Kyler Murray in a full-blown rebuild? Because he's not going to want to be there during all that. Like, he's going to want to go somewhere where he thinks he can compete. Granted, I don't think he necessarily deserves that. But that remains to be seen, right? Like, there's been times where you're like, oh my God, he looks nice, but... yeah, and then him coming off the ACL and probably going to come back mid-season, like, that team's going to be bad.
I think that team's awful.
Rams, in my opinion, same scenario. Like, bad. Like, I don't know what's happening with Matthew
they're in
Stafford.
cap fucking hell.
Cap hell. They're getting rid of everybody. Like,
the picks are gone.
they literally sold their soul for that Super Bowl, and now they're dealing with the repercussions of it. Like, we all knew this was coming. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I get it. Get your fucking ring.
Hey,
dude.
at least they won it. If they lost it, it would hurt
be
even
different.
more. At least they won.
Yeah.
And now they get to try and fix it, but they're definitely going to be feeling the hurting for that.
Yeah, they're definitely going to. This is another interesting team, Nick. The Seahawks. We had them rebuilding last year, right? They made the playoffs. Geno looked good. We know that. I think this team can repeat as a playoff team. Like, they're going to add more pieces. They have, pick 5 in the draft? They could draft a quarterback. They could draft somebody. Let's see who they have. They have them taking an edge rusher, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech at 5. And then they also have pick 20, and they have them taking another cornerback. So,
I don't think that's bad.
I don't think so either. And then an O-lineman at 37. And then, so they have 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds. So, they're going to add even more pieces to this team that I think has a good young core. I'm willing, like, I would take the Seahawks over the Cowboys.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm not against that. I think the Seahawks are a very good team. I think they've always been a pretty good team. Pete Carroll is one of the better coaches in the NFL. I like their offense. They got
my boy
fucking
Kenneth Walker.
Oh yeah, Kenneth Walker. They got
Tyler Lockett,
I always get on here and I can't think of anyone's wide receivers.
Metcalf,
DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett is one of the most underrated wide receivers
100%.
in the league.
Dude's a
I think
dog.
the dude literally always makes the most insane catches, and I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like, I think he's really good. I think their offense is pretty good. I think the picks that they have mocked them to make sense. Like, build up the O-line, build up your defense.
I think they could be
Wagner's
really
back.
good.
Like, Bobby Wagner's fucking back, Craig.
Oh, I know. Gone for a year, came back home. They're ready. They got the guy in the middle again. I saw a tweet. Somebody was comparing this. I don't remember the year, but they were comparing this team to, what was it? Like, I guess the year they won a Super Bowl, they were comparing this team. They had, like, the star players, like Richard Sherman. They had, his comparison was Tariq Woolen. They had Cam Chancellor. His comparison was Jamal Adams. They had Marshawn Lynch. His comparison was Kenneth Walker. Russell, his comparison was Geno. Like, they were doing that whole thing. And I like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that statement. Like, it was, I'm not saying they're going to go out and win the Super Bowl, but they do have a talented team, and again, it's a young core. I think if there is any question mark for this team right now, it's got to be Geno. Can he repeat?
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, what's going to happen with that? But we'll see. I do like that team going into next year.
If Geno repeats what he did last year, they'll definitely be a good team.
100%. I think so. And honestly, Nick, with that division, we would have went into it last year thinking, all right, this is going to be a tough division. You got the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, the defending Super Bowls champs of the Rams. You got the 49ers who are always in it, and then the Seahawks. Like, we had Seahawks dead last, 4th in that division. They ended up coming close to, or they made the playoffs. I was going to say coming close to winning the division, but they weren't. Made the playoffs. And then now this year, you'd like to think, I don't think they're the favorites for the division. I think they have a chance at it.
No, definitely not.
But definitely favorites to make the playoffs for sure.
Yep.
That being said, we got the last team, the San Francisco 49ers. I feel like as an A-tier team, they got questions at quarterback, but I feel like either way, I feel like they're good enough to get it done. It seems like they always get it done, right? Or what are you thinking?
Sorry, what was that last part?
I was just saying how I think the 49ers are an A-tier team. Like, there's questions at quarterback, but even with the questions at quarterback, they always get it done. Like, and I feel like if Trey Lance becomes the quarterback and he has a few bad games, I feel like they're probably going to put Brock Purdy in, and we saw how he did. Like, I don't know. What do you think about this
I think
team?
it's S tier, honestly.
S tier, okay. I'm
we've seen them
not
go to the
against
playoffs
that.
with
Like,
Jimmy. They lost. Or the Super Bowl star, they lost. We've seen them in the conference championships games. Like, that team is good, man.
yeah,
Defense is always good. It's always near the top in the league. They got one of the second best set in the league. They got a dog at wide receiver.
another dog
I think
at
they're-
running back.
Yeah, I think their running backs are pretty solid. Like, they always find ways to produce.
CMC with Elijah Mitchell. Like,
The big issue with this team, and it's always been, is fucking injuries, man.
yep.
This team just never seems to be healthy at the right time, and it seems like it's almost like it's cursed. Like,
I think it's the way they play. It's their style of play, Nick. Like, they're so like physical.
George Kittle's always missing like 3 games a year.
Did you see that
Guaranteed.
statement? He said every Sunday is like getting in multiple car accidents.
Like car crashes, yeah.
Jesus.
Like, he literally is always getting hurt, like 3-4 games minimum every year.
Yeah.
Every year, it feels like. Their running back room, for some reason, always just gets destroyed. Like, I don't know what it is with the 49ers, but they just always find ways to just get hurt.
Yeah, I agree.
But I definitely think they're S tier.
I like
over
S tier.
otherwise.
Yeah, I like it.
Even with the subpar quarterbacks that they have or whatever,
They've made
I don't
it
even know
work.
what Trey Lance is.
Yeah,
They always find ways to make it work. Like, even with Jimmy, who we now have in the D tier,
yeah.
they literally were in the Super Bowl.
Somebody in chat said Steelers A tier. I disagree.
Definitely not.
But I mean, so moving on now, we got like our team set in what tier for the most part. Do we want to go through and
the
try
S
to
tier.
order?
Go from top to the bottom.
All right.
Or actually, no, go from the bottom.
Yeah.
So for the bottom, I think Washington is above Green Bay.
Yep.
Cowboys, Lions above Ravens.
Wait.
That's what he said in chat.
Oh,
Cowboys, Lions above Ravens.
he's saying the Cowboys and Lions should be above the Ravens.
Um,
Steelers had it doesn't matter. The Steelers had a better record than the Ravens. We're not talking about last year.
Yeah, we're not basing off just last year. This is based off last year, but also what we think going forward. I think with Lamar, if he stays healthy, they're way better. They're going to be way better than the Steelers are. There's no doubt about that.
I think so
I
too.
still think the Steelers could easily make the playoffs as like a potential type crazy wild card team, but at the end of the day, I don't really like the Steelers team that much.
Like, the Steelers have talent. They got TJ Watt and all them. Like, I do get. I don't think they're A tier by any means. There's no argument you can make for them to be A tier unless you're a fan of the Steelers. Yeah, you can maybe make the case for B tier, but A tier, there's no way. Anyways,
In A tier, Kenny Pickett would have to make like a huge step.
Huge step.
But going back to the D tier here, I would have Washington at the top. I think you could probably move the
I think, no,
Panthers
you're doing
over
this backwards.
Green
We need to start from the bottom.
Bay. Oh, you want to go from the bottom?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
You
Texans.
said the bottom. Texans,
Okay, so Texans
definitely
at
last.
the bottom.
Yeah.
Last team.
We think Falcons are going to be
Falcons.
somewhere around there. Same.
I think so.
Yeah. I think these two teams are going to be down here as well.
Oh, the Rams and the Cardinals?
Yeah. And then the Titans, I think so.
The Browns. Okay. The Colts.
Do we
I
think...
think we moved the Colts over the Raiders.
Okay. Colts over the Raiders. I feel like these two teams have to go back here potentially.
It's a little bit delayed. Oh yeah, okay. I'm fine with that. Yeah, for sure. The NFC South
Is bad,
NFC South
yeah.
is just terrible.
Um,
And I think you can move Green Bay behind the Raiders.
all the way back here.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't really like that Packers roster. I
don't
think
either.
that's probably set for me.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I-
I think for anybody who's
think
watching,
going-
like, I know there's a couple teams on here that you're going to look at and be like, well, why are they so far down there? But the Browns, like, you can make the argument for them being, like, top of D tier. I would give you that. It's just a question mark with Watson. Like, what Watson are we getting? We talked about that earlier. Like, that's why they're there. Green Bay, we think their roster's bad. Like, quarterback question marks. Raiders, again, we think they digress. Colts need a quarterback. They have some pieces on the team. Like, this is kind of why these teams that you would think, like, well, those teams are better than that. Why are they there? And it's like, those are why they're there. Like, you got to be realistic at some point. You know what I mean? And again, this is what we think. Like this, everybody has different opinions. Everybody thinks differently. Like we could be completely wrong in this. Like we looked at our last year's ranking and there was a couple teams that we were wrong on, but for the most part, we got a lot of it right. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't gonna be perfect at this, but this is just how we think and feel. So we're cool with this D tier?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on.
I think C tier. I think I like the Bears last. I think like we talked about, like their potential C, D tier team. I think the Pats being there belongs there. I think I like the Steelers there. Like I honestly think I like the way it's set up. Honestly, the only argument you can make maybe is the Broncos over the Lions, but
yeah,
I'm cool with either or.
Yeah, because I feel like these I know these three teams for sure. Like I like their rosters. There's just kind of the question marks there a little bit. This one, not so much of a fan of their roster, but they did make the playoffs last year, and Brian Daboll has that team playing crazy good. Yeah, I like this because I feel like these three you could make the argument to interchange them with each other, but they're all pretty much tied for me.
I was gonna say those top 4 teams in C tier could easily make the playoffs. It just depends on who's in and who's out, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like let's say the Giants make it. Well, did they knock out the Seahawks? Did they knock out the Vikings? Did they knock out the Cowboys? Did the Jets make it? They're knocking out the Dolphins, the Jags, the Bills, the Chargers, like the Ravens. Yeah. Like they could easily make any of the playoffs. It just depends on what team shows up.
Yeah, because 14 teams make the playoffs?
I told you this before, in the NFL, nothing's a given.
No, never.
You could easily sit here and say, oh, the Dolphins have one of the best teams, whatever, or the Bills, whatever. Next you know, the quarterback comes on and just completely shits the bed. Well, then what? Your team's fucked. Like, or your top-rated 5 defense from last year, pretty much you keep all the players the same. Well, guess what? They dropped to 20th. Well, what happened? Who knows? It is what it is.
I mean, we saw it
the Giants could easily surprise us and make it again. We never know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm just trying to be realistic about it.
No, yeah, for sure. I agree. Next, we got the B tier. We got 5 teams in it. We got the Vikings, Ravens, Chargers, Seahawks, Cowboys. Again, like I said earlier, I think you said this, right? That the Cowboys could even be bumped out by like the Lions. So I think they are at the end of the B tier. I like the Seahawks over the Cowboys. I don't know about the Seahawks over the Chargers, Ravens, or Vikings, though.
I think you make the argument over the Chargers just based off complete roster, but I think they got the better quarterback, so I'm going to say
Chargers, yeah.
I'm going to probably leave it where it is.
And then I like the rest of them here. Like, I'm cool with this order completely, to be honest.
I think so.
Next, we got A tier. We got 3 teams, Bills, Jags, Dolphins. I'm cool with this order as well.
So I think these 3 teams have top down, like, pretty much good rosters, like good defenses, good offenses. It's just a matter of playing to their potential.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then next we have the coveted S tier. We have 4 teams: the Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles, 49ers.
I think the only switch is you put the Eagles over the Bengals and then call it a day.
Just because they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, I like that.
I think so. I think they have a better roster. I think all these teams are like super close.
Yeah.
It just depends on who wins the games. Like at the end of the day, you only get one game.
Yep.
It'd be completely different if football was like baseball or like hockey, where you play, or even basketball, where you play 7 games. Like, because so many of these teams, like, I know the Giants won last year against the Vikings, but you simulate that game 7 times. Are they winning 7 times? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, they played a couple weeks before that, and the Vikings win. So it's like, I feel like
what I'm saying, like,
what you're getting at with this like topic right here. These 4 teams, if you like played them against each other, like out of 5 or out of 7, I guarantee you they go to a full series every time between these 4 teams. Like I think the Chiefs and Eagles, if they played a best of 7, they'd play 7 games. Bengals, 49ers, same thing. Like, and then any version that you would do for that, like Chiefs, Niners, Chiefs, Bengals, whatever. Like they're all going.
Like I'm just
7
saying,
games.
I feel like the top 4 teams in S tier are literally like the top 4 teams in probably the whole NFL.
I think so.
Like there's no doubt about it. They're the top teams. Yeah, they're gonna lose, but it is what it is. Like you lose some games, so it's like.
Yep.
And then I think like for our tier list, I think every team that's in the same tier is so close together.
Yeah.
Like, there's some outliers, sure, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be a team that just jumps from one ranking to the other. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we had the Giants and Seahawks in what, D tier last year, and they went all the way to like playoff teams.
yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, it always happens. The NFL is crazy. I love it. It's hard to predict.
Oh, I'm here for it. All right, so that's gonna wrap up our team rankings. Again, this is what we think. Let us know if you hate us in the comments. We don't care. We do care, but we'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
At the end of the day, it's our opinion. Like, you don't
Yeah.
have to agree. Like, everyone has different opinions. Like, so for example, this guy in chat said that he thinks the Steelers are an A tier. I'm not sure why he thinks that, but that's his opinion. I'm not gonna hate on it.
Yep. All right. So, what did we? I know we pulled this up. Did we want to do anything with this mock draft, or was that for like the team rankings or the draft order? I mean, was that just for team rankings?
I'm down to look at the draft order real quick
Okay.
here before we call it. I think that's only been. Actually, I don't even know how long it's going.
It's been like
I don't
50
know.
minutes, I think, because it's
Yeah.
split. I think it was 30, and then we're at 26 minutes.
Yeah, so based almost an hour.
Yeah.
I'm down to go through this real quick. So, like we said, we have Carolina at number 1. All right.
Yep.
What are we thinking? Quarterback for sure, right?
Definitely.
Probably 99%.
Yeah. No way you trade up and draft like Will Anderson or something, dude. Definitely going quarterback.
Houston, I believe they go quarterback. Arizona probably going to take Will Anderson or something like that.
Yeah.
The
Colts probably go quarterback.
Probably going to take whatever left at quarterback.
I think they have them
Seahawks.
taking Anthony Richardson at 4.
The Seahawks, who knows who they take? Could be a quarterback, could be an old lineman, could be something. I'm gonna actually wait. Just pull up the mock draft. Fuck.
Mock draft? Yeah.
Can we just go through here and see what they take? Yeah, so we have CJ Stroud, like we said, one of the quarterbacks. Bryce Young, Will Anderson. Excuse me, Anthony Richardson. Like I said, the Seahawks. It's a question mark for me. This is one of the ones where the draft probably gets weird.
Yeah.
Because they could easily go quarterback again, or they could go and fix their O-line or go after someone for the defense. That's a question mark.
Or
for
they
me.
could even trade back with somebody like the
Yeah, like someone that wants a
Raiders,
quarterback.
yeah.
You never know. Like it's such a question mark. I think the Lions taking Jalen Carter. I don't know about that one. I think Jalen Carter is honestly going to slide through this draft.
Did
Just
you
based
see?
off the question marks? Like,
Did you see what came out today? He's not meeting with any teams that are outside of the top 10. And the only way he'll meet with teams if they're outside of the top 10 is if they make a trade up into the top 10. Then he'll meet with them. But that's only if it happens before the draft.
You know what? I'm gonna say right now. I think this dude's a POS, a piece
think
of
so.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna lie. Whatever. Like the dude just seems like a piece of shit. Everything I read about him, he just sounds shady. He just sounds shitty.
Dude, it seems
I don't
like
know about
every
but
chance
it's-
he's had to like prove himself that he's not this guy that they think they are, he does something like this today and is like, well, if you're not in the top 10,
Yeah.
I'm not meeting with you. Like, what is that, man? Like, you went from a number 1 overall projected pick early in the draft mocks and shit to now you're talking about you won't even meet with teams that are outside of the top 10, dude. Like, that ain't how it works.
I'm all for the whatchamacallit, the Deion Sanders energy. Like,
Yeah.
because I remember before, like people would call him whatever, and I remember hearing he said like he hung up. Like, or they're like, what pick are you? He's like, pick 9. He's like, I'm gone before then, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all
Yeah.
for that, believe in yourself, whatever. But this dude's just straight up a piece of shit. Like, 2 people died in like a car accident, racing, whatever. This motherfucker seemed to show no remorse. He left the scene of the crime, called his friends to go check out, then came back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. And the difference is Dion
That to
didn't get
me-
in no car accident, so he's able to act that way and it be justified. Like,
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that to me just shows, like, the guy's character. He gave no fucks. I guarantee you, he saw them die, whatever, saw it happen, and was like, I'm not, like, this is my, like, I'm not reading my fucking life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he just sounds like a big fucking dog shit. Like, I just can't stand this guy. And it's funny, too, because, like, I remember people were posting about his workout, and he didn't look very good at his workout. Like, his pro day, whatever. So, I don't know what to expect. This guy just sounds like he has no work ethic.
Also, like, I know he's, like, talented and athletic or whatever and has done good, but, like, just looking off these stats here, like, Anderson has
sacks.
51 tackles, 10 sacks, 1 pass deflection, 1 interception. This guy has 32 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 deflections, 2 forced fumbles. Like, I'm taking Will Anderson 10 out of 10 times. Like, and even then, you can make the case for Tyree Wilson over him for sure. Like, who else we got down here? Like, this guy, edge, D lineman, 37 tackles, 6 sacks. Like, oh my God, you forced 2 more fumbles than him. Nice. But, like, this guy's got better stats than you, and I know it's more than stats. I get it. But, like,
Yeah, I think this guy has huge character concerns. That's my opinion on him. But
I will
either way,
say, before we move on, like, if he is that good and he does slip, like, one of these teams are going to get lucky just because of the circumstances, right? Like, if he does slip to 20th or 30th or whatever,
to
like,
go to the first round entirely.
I think
That'd
it would be comedy, but either way, like, one of these teams are going to get lucky as fuck. If he is that talented that everybody says he is, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Moving on.
But I'm not sure what the Lions are going to do here. I think they got to go defense probably, though.
Yeah.
I think they almost pretty much any pick on defense is probably good for the Lions. D-line, linebacker, corner, safety. Like, they need help for sure. I think they were the 32nd unit last year. So
Yeah, they were.
anything helps.
We got pick 7. We got Will Levis, quarterback. I just don't know about the Raiders drafting a quarterback. Like, I could see it happening for sure.
Again, it gets hard after the Lions, like,
Yeah.
or after the start of the Seahawks. Like,
It does get
they
weird.
could go quarterback, could go linebacker, could go anything. Like, they need help pretty much everywhere.
And then they got Christian Gonzalez going 8 to the Falcons. Again, they kind of need everything too. O-lineman Peter Skoronski for the Bears.
Not
Then we
against
got I wonder like how close this is to our mock draft, Nick. Then we have Devin Witherspoon, cornerback, going to the Eagles. Another tackle, Paris Johnson, going to the Titans. They need that bad. We have pick 12 Texans drafting JSN, wide receiver. I'm kind of in the situation, Nick, of like, as I am with the quarterbacks for the Texans, I don't know which wide receivers I want or which one I don't want. You know what I mean? There's 3 of them. There's JSN, Jordan Addison, and Quentin Johnston. I feel like one of those 3 I would be cool with, honestly. At pick 12 because we need it. But, are you pulling up our draft?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I thought so.
So for pick 1, we had Bryce Young,
We have them
DJ
taking
Stroud.
motion, yeah.
Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Tyree Wilson,
Yep.
Jalen Carter,
Yep.
Devin Witherspoon.
Okay, so we had 7. Okay.
Where did Witherspoon end up going? Like, went 10?
He went 10. I think in our mock draft, we had Will Levis slipping because not a fan. But carry on.
Jalen Carter went to 6.
Yep.
We had
So we pretty much got the first 6 right besides the switch of Young and Stroud, but that could go either way. Carry on.
Sorry, I'm messing up. 7 was Devin Witherspoon. Jesus.
Okay.
8 was Jordan Addison. 9 was Jackson Smith Nagagba.
In Jigba.
Named Jigba, sorry.
Yeah.
That was where we had the...
We had the wide
college
receivers going. Yeah.
10 we had Kalaji Kansi, D lineman for the Eagles.
That guy
This is where Will Levis ends up going to 11. 12 we had Quentin Johnson. 17 we had Joey Porter Jr. because of his dad.
17? Why'd you get all the way to 17? We were on 13.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Oh, my bad. Okay, here we go. Peter Stronsky, 13, the
Okay.
Jets. Tackle. Paris Johnson Jr., the tackle for Patriots. Zay Flowers went to the Packers wide receiver. John Michael Schmitz went to the Washington. And then
Joey Porter to
17 was Jordy Porter to the Steelers. Michael Mayer to the Lions.
we got that one right.
Osiris Torrance 19 to the Bucks. Christian Gonzalez 20 to the Seahawks. Roderick Jones tackle to the Chargers. Jalen Hyatt to the Ravens. Lucas Van Ness to the Vikings. Keely Ringo to the Jags. Okay, here we go. Josh Downs, wide receiver to the Giants. Dalton Kinsinat, tight end to the Cowboys.
We got that one right.
Bijan Robinson to the Bills. Brian Branch, safety to the Bengals.
Got that right.
Deontay Banks, cornerback to the Saints. Jack Campbell, linebacker to the Eagles, and then Kayshawn Badowie to the Chiefs, the wide receiver from LSU.
Oh, Booty. Kashawn Booty. Yeah. I mean, we got some of them right. It seems like we got them out of order, but it is what it is. Again, we could do a mock draft and it'd be this way, and that mock draft could be right on draft day, or it could look like this. Like, it's so hit or miss, man. It literally just depends on what
we'll
the team
definitely be doing
is.
one next week.
Oh, yeah.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
See how our opinions change from mock draft 1.0 to 2.0.
This one's funny, though. They got Bijan going to the Bucks.
I mean,
I feel like the Bucks want to ride out Rachaad White and see what they got there. I feel like, but maybe.
Again, it literally depends. Like, we could be looking at it from the outside, and they say, "Well, I like the guy we already have, so
yeah.
I don't think a cornerback's I need. I think it's this, whatever." Like, it just depends on how they feel about it. Again, we look at it and we see these players on Sunday for 2 hours every week.
They see them all week.
They see them for all week for like hours upon hours. Like,
yeah.
What you see is not what we see, or what they see is not what we see. So
100%.
It's always hard to predict things.
With that being said, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. Are you done, Nick? Are we done?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm down to do a mock draft next week.
Yeah.
Look at some more rookies. Maybe we'll highlight a few picks here and there.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe we'll pull up some YouTube videos, do some
film or something.
Some film.
I like it. But we hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. Yeah, we'll see y'all next week, and hope y'all enjoy y'all's week, and hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Peace.